lot of questions involving the legal implications of the very first criminal case against a former president.
And here to talk more about it is Jeremy Saland, former assistant DA in Manhattan. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy. You know, there's not a playbook here for indicting a former president, but given your experience with the DA's office, should he surrender, you know, what can we expect?
Well, this is certainly uncharted territory.
Right.
No one's done this, no one's seen this, no matter the jurisdiction. I would expect it might go smoother than what people might expect, and what I mean by that is not necessarily the public reaction, because you obviously have to be prepared for that, for the safety of the former president and for the DA's office and for the public in general. But he's going to confront this head on. That's who he is. He sort of takes that power and seizes that energy to say, I'm the victim, I'm the sort of personification of masculinity, I'm doing this for you, let's go forward. So I expect this to be somewhat of a show, but I also expect it to go through the normal chain of events.
You know, what do we know about the charges he's actually facing? There's been a lot of reporting tonight in the past couple hours that he's facing 34 counts related to falsifying business records, which would seem to indicate that it might go deeper or be more serious than just this idea of hush money payments to a former porn star and whatnot.
The hush money payments is sort of what facilitated this, and obviously it's a big part of it, but that's not the crime. The crime is the falsification of business records. So you can say when some folks say, well, it's only a minor felony, that's really no such term. There's no felony is minor.
Right.
But each of those crimes is punishable by up to 1 1/3 to 4 years in prison. Is he going to go to prison? No, I don't think so. But that tells us that every time that he made a false entry, as alleged, that's what each of those 34 counts are. So it's not just one, but this is 34 separate times he made allegedly these false records.
Each payment is like a separate count or whatnot, right?
Not necessarily the payments, but the entry into the business record of the enterprise, that falsification or that deletion or modification of the entry.
I feel like this has had many iterations of the journey over the last 5 years, this investigation, you know, first with Cy Vance and then Alvin Bragg looking over it. 2 of his prosecutors resigned. At one point, we didn't know if this indictment was coming. Now that Bragg has brought it on, you know, what are the implications that he could face for pursuing these charges?
So I think we're also making the assumption that the initial investigation is the same as this investigation, meaning that there could have been some other things that the district attorney's office was looking into at that initial point in time. So now that there's an indictment, at least that's what it seems to be, there could be a real pushback, and there is from some sides, from some camps, about this is all about politics. And the last thing you want to do is diminish the integrity of the district attorney's office. And I think that's a very unfair conclusion, because we want to believe, and we should believe, and have faith in our law enforcement that they're doing it for the right reason. That being said, to be very clear, while they may be doing it for the right reason, we want to believe that, they still have that burden, which is what? Proof beyond a reasonable doubt. But I expect this to unfortunately be more divisive than bringing people together by the nature of the charges and by the nature of who's being charged.
You know, just briefly wrapping up here, we don't have a little bit of time left, but do the events we've seen the past week make more sense to you in light of what we've seen unfold today as far as the last witnesses who've come in? There was Robert Costello, who was Giuliani's lawyer, and we saw the guy from the National Enquirer was brought in the past couple days, and it all sort of didn't, you know, we're trying to figure out, read the tea leaves, what that meant. Does that make any more sense to you now, knowing this?
It's very fair, and those who know how a grand jury works and you give an opportunity for a defendant to testify, witnesses, rebuttal, you expect that there's going to be a conclusion with an indictment. Did we expect it to be today? No, I think most people thought there would be some time before it happened. But this is a natural order of things.
All right. Jeremy, appreciate you coming in. Thank you.